Welcome beautiful people, welcome to yet another video. I hope you guys are feeling good. I am glad to be back with another video, and in today's video I am back with a review. Now this time we were facing Crystal Palace, and of course I did not have high expectations, I'll be honest. They sacked Tuchel. I mean, the whole news about sacking Tuchel, I'm sure you guys have heard it all over it, but it was just too much for me, and I was just like, it came out of the blue, to be honest. So for me in this game, of course, his first game was the Champions League game. Was it one of our best performances? Absolutely not. But we have to bear in mind that Graham Potter is inheriting a whole team that he had nothing to do with, and the fact that most of the reports I was getting about Graham Potter coming to Chelsea, and the reason why Todd Boehly really favored him was the fact that he has emotional intelligence in comparison to the rest of the coaches, and there were so many more factors that were determined for him to be able to get the job. But you know, I mean, of course the expectation is fairly low, I'm not even going to lie. Thomas Tuchel is a more experienced manager. He had the morale, he had the zeal to carry the team. In terms of Graham Potter, there's a bit of coldness, there's a bit of stiffness towards him, especially from the fans. And this game, especially with the first half, I was feeling a bit agitated the way the game was going. In terms of starting 11, of course, the team is new. We don't even know the combinations. News have been circulating that he's been giving the players some new roles to try, i.e. Trevor Chalobah, he was able to play a 6. I mean, there's a lot and lots of changes within the team, within the whole of Chelsea is changing. Change can be good sometimes. Change might take a while for some to adjust. So I am one of those people, so it's taking time for me to adjust in terms of Chelsea. But here we are in terms of this game. What can I take away from this game? The fact that we were able to get 3 points, the fact that we were able to get 3 points, because other than that, we were absolutely all over the place. In terms of our defense, it was not solid. In terms of our midfield, we were just all over the place. We almost just got away with a red card, and I feel like for once the referee was on our side. I mean, it's always the referees against Chelsea, and this time we were lucky, yeah. So in terms of the game today, I am not too happy about how the game went. The only thing I can take from it is the fact that we were able to get 3 points. Now, do I see the players improving over time? Hopefully. But in terms of Graham Potter and the bar he has set, of course, the expectation from my side is so low. I'll just be honest, I have low expectation in terms of him succeeding. But with what he has done in Brighton, I will not completely shut him off. I want to give him the opportunity to maybe try, because I feel like Thomas Tuchel wasn't given this opportunity, and it was absolutely unfair. In terms of Sky Sports, in terms of everybody who reported it, it was an absolute shocker. We've all moved on past it, or some of you at least. But in terms of the game today, how did you guys feel? In terms of starting 11, a very interesting starting 11. I wasn't able to be shooting a few videos over the past few months due to personal reasons, but I'm back, and hopefully you enjoy the content. If you're new, please consider subscribing, like the video, and share it to the family and friends. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's jump right into it. So in terms of starting 11, we started with a very interesting starting 11. Of course, we are normally used to the back 3, and we started with the back 4. I was very skeptical about it, and at first it was not working for us. I think towards the second half we switched back to a back 3, but in terms of the first half, the back 4 was what we started with. Of course, in terms of injured players, the players were not available for this selection. We had Mendy, who was out, Kante was also out, and we also had Chukwuemeka, who was also out. In terms of starting 11, we had Kepa in goal. Then in terms of the back 4, we had Reece James, then we had Wesley Fofana, and then Thiago Silva. Then we had Ben Chilwell at the other end. In terms of the midfield, we had a 3. So we had a midfield of Jorginho, Mount, and Kovacic. Then in terms of front 3, we had Aubameyang, then we had Kai Havertz, then we also had Sterling. Now, in terms of the first half, I was honestly stressed, and I was just hoping that this was not one of those weekends that Chelsea will ruin the Premier League weekend for me. I mean, look at the way Arsenal played. Yo, Arsenal this season were on fire, and I saw a tweet mentioning that, you know, I hope Chelsea is not the Arsenal of last season this season. And the way it was looking with how the first half was going, it was not looking good. So in terms of the first half, the game starts off well. I mean, we start on a high. I mean, first few attempts, and we already have Sterling with an attempt. I mean, I was feeling a bit enthusiastic, but then it all went into shambles. I don't know whether it's the composure of the players, but then we just got scattered all over the place. Wesley Fofana was making a bit of mistakes in terms of the first half. I mean, especially in the beginning, and his mistake was what cost us our first goal. I mean, if it was not for the interception by the Crystal Palace players from Fofana's pass, I don't think that would have been a goal. And what a goal. Wow. I mean, this is why we don't like Kepa for outside shots. The outside shots kill him, but this was not even an outside shot. The assist was an outside shot, but that goal was, it was very good finishing. I'm not even going to deny it. And this is why I felt like we're losing our marbles. We were not calm in any way whatsoever, and I felt like we were panicking a bit, but we were able to get our composure. Almost a slight red card. That should have been a red card. I think it should have been a red card, but it was not a red card. The odds were in our favor. I mean, I feel like it was a reaction. I mean, he was pushed over, and I mean, the fact that he had to try and kick the ball with his head, it was just, it was just an impulsive reaction. And the fact that we're not given a red card for it, I will take it. So in terms of that, we were not given the red card, and minutes later, now Thiago Silva was able to give us the assist. I don't even know how he was able to run all the way from where he was, but this speaks volumes about our players. I mean, a 38-year-old defender comes all the way from the back, gives an assist to Aubameyang, to a striker, and he's finally able to score. And I wish we had more players in the front who were able to do that, but I'm glad that Thiago Silva was there. The Crystal Palace fans were angry, and this was this was pure joy, because they were angry due to the fact that if Thiago Silva was kicked out of this game, that would not have been a goal, but it was a goal. Guess what? Chelsea finally had the referees on their side for the first time, I don't know in how long, and it counted as a goal. Of course, in terms of Crystal Palace manager, he was booked for complaining that Thiago Silva shouldn't have gotten the assist, shouldn't have gotten the whatever. He was booked. He was given a yellow card for complaining, and rightfully so. I mean, the game has already progressed. We have accepted sometimes the referees are not always on our side, and we will complain and nothing will be done. So the fact that the referee was on our side this time, I think it's safe to say we're having a good day in the office as Chelsea. So coming to second half, I was not feeling too confident. I mean, we were 1-1. The scores were at 1-1, and we needed to show something. We needed to pull up our socks, and Graham Potter needed to make a statement. He needed to show his emotional intelligence. This is what I will be referring to him with. I mean, for the rest of the videos I'll be making, heads up, because this is the most reoccurring headline when it comes to his name. So in terms of the game, coming to the second half, I was a bit skeptical, and I was actually stressed about this game. I was honestly seeing a draw. We needed to make super substitutions, and the substitutions that were coming in were not doing it. Now, first of all, we made the substitution with Ruben Loftus-Cheek for Jorginho, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek was just off. Was it just me? Or please tell me in the comment section down below if you felt Ruben Loftus-Cheek was on point, because I felt like he was too reactive with his passes, and at times he was not putting thought process into the shots he was making, and there were just some mistakes I felt like Loftus-Cheek could have avoided. In terms of the next substitution, we had Broja coming in for Aubameyang. Now Aubameyang of course gave us our first goal. Incredible goal, by the way, the assist from Thiago Silva. Incredible goal from Aubameyang, his first goal. His debut in Chelsea, his first goal, congratulations to him. Then in terms of the rest of the substitutions, we had of course Gallagher coming in for Kai Havertz, and finally we had Pulisic coming in for Mason Mount. Now in terms of Gallagher, I think this is where the emotional intelligence part played in the terms of this game. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I mean, even the commentator in terms of the stream I was watching, the commentator mentioned that if Ken Gallagher actually scored against his old team, Crystal Palace Player of the Season last season, it was going to be the most painful goal to Crystal Palace, and it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. The super substitutions that came, an assist from Pulisic and from Gallagher. No, assist from Pulisic with the goal to Gallagher. We just had it in. And this was towards the last minutes of the game. So the game was done and dusted to me, and of course Zaha with his streaks falling down and all and all. Zaha is so dramatic. Zaha, come on, I think you should get a reality show or something. But in terms of the game today, am I satisfied with the results? I will take it. I mean, it's a win for us. We need to pull up our socks. We need to know how we're playing. In terms of our defense, in terms of the first half, our defense was in absolute shambles. In terms of our midfield, we were trying, but Kovacic looked a bit rusty to me. Ben Chilwell looked a bit slow. In terms of Mason Mount, why was he so angry? I mean, okay, I was seeing some tweets, some people were saying Mason Mount was playing well, but to be honest, this was not one of Mason Mount's best game. I feel like that's why he was also substituted. But in terms of the game in general, we need to work on that finishing. Now, we had so many chances that we could have made into so many better goals. I mean, in terms of the free kick that was, I think, just a few yards away from the goalpost, Mason Mount had some misses. That this game was just not one of his best games. Now, in terms of a man of the match, now this was a hard one, because in terms of Aubameyang, this was his debut and he was able to give us the goal. But the goal from Gallagher just took it all for me. I mean, in terms of Thiago Silva, I feel in terms of the work rate, he takes all the work rate in terms of Chelsea. He's the most hardworking player. He's one of the most hardworking player I've seen. And I feel like this is one of the reasons why I miss Timo. And before you come for me, yes, I know Timo's finishing was really not that good, but his work rate, he would just know when to be at the box to make the right passes, like the pass that was made by Thiago Silva. I feel like if it was Timo, maybe not with the header, but Timo had his own good work rate. Now, in terms of the game, I was not able to do a preview. We were able to get a 2-1 win, and of course we were able to get our 3 points. But the whole game in general, we need to work on it. We need to work on our players, we need to work on our squad. And of course, we know there's going to be lots and lots of changes coming, Chelsea. So it's just going to be a matter of time before we see the new changes taking in place. Now, of course, I have to talk about Nkunku. Now, over the transfer period, I was not as active as I would have loved to be. But I mentioned that Nkunku would have been a great, target to go for. But I mentioned the fact that he was injury prone, and that was my major issue with him. Apparently, he signed a secret medical. But Graham Potter mentioned the fact, he said no comments towards the question about the news about Nkunku. So let's see how the game goes. Now, in terms of our next games, I'll be having, of course, not too much expectation, to be honest. And as I said in the beginning of the video, this might be, it might not be our best season. So I will still be rooting for Chelsea all the way, but if we go down, I will not be surprised. I feel like the charisma of Chelsea, everything that comes with Chelsea, I don't feel like Thomas Tuchel was let go in the right way. He really represented the charisma. He represented Chelsea. It was just our coach, and Thomas Tuchel will forever be our coach. Now, I was wondering throughout the game, is Thomas Tuchel watching this game? Is Thomas Tuchel watching this game? And if he is, how does he feel? But how did you guys feel about this game? Tell me in the comment section down below. Again, if you're new, please consider subscribing and turn on the post notification bell. You'll be notified every time I upload a video. The good thing is that we won and we'll be taking 3 points, but we need to work on our finishing. We need to work on so many more things. Our defense needs to be worked on, and of course, with the players trying new roles, new positions each and every other game, I hope they are able to adapt and adapt fast. That was it for my video. If you liked it, please click the like button, and I will see you in my next video.